Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The Bride! Exclamation point, or better known as Frankenstein, Folie à Dieu, is Maggie Gyllenhaal's sophomore effort at filmmaking. She wrote and directed the film, which we'll get into in just a second. But this movie stars Academy Award winner Jessie Buckley, which is so awesome to say, and Academy Award winner of 2011 Christian Bale as the titular bride and Frankenstein himself. This movie does what everyone does in the sense that it calls Frankenstein's monster by Frankenstein, but this time it's his own decision. He decides that he's going to take on his father's name, his creator's name, Frankenstein, and everyone calls him Frankenstein or Frankie for short, which I thought was a bold and pretty interesting creative decision. And this movie does a lot of that. It takes a lot of daring, creative, you know, decisions that don't go anywhere. It runs with it and doesn't know where it's running. It doesn't land. This movie is very much a Frankenstein of a movie in the sense that so many ideas and plot lines and themes are kind of woven together in a way that creates this huge mess of a monster film. This movie stars Jessie Buckley as Ida, or better known as the Bride, who has two personalities really. She has Ida, which is herself, and then she has this other personality called Mary Shelley, who'll pop out every now and then and deliver these theatrical monologues about feminism, or her personal wants and needs, which again is a cool and daring concept given that Mary Shelley is the author of the Frankenstein novel. So it's really cool to, make that an element of the movie. But like I said, it goes nowhere. Uh, she stars as the bride, Mary Shelley, who gets created because Frankenstein has blue balls and is lonely. And he's suffering from the male loneliness epidemic, and he asks his mad scientist to help him create a bride out of a dead body. They dig up Ida from her grave and wake her up. She gets fed these lies about who she used to be because Frankie doesn't know who she was, neither does the mad scientist. And they go on this long, convoluted journey in which they kill people who try to rape and assault her, which happens quite often in this movie. Someone will try, some creep will come along, and they wind up killing them, and they wind up leaving a trail of bodies as they kind of take a road trip trying to escape the cops and the investigation. This movie also stars Peter Sarsgaard and Penelope Cruz as this detective and detective assistant who are trying to solve the case of where they're going. So, in one aspect, this movie is a Bonnie and Clyde film, but in another, Ida, or Mary Shelley, starts to she initiates a revolution, basically a feminist revolution in which she encourages women to take back their bodies, their independence, which is great. If that went anywhere, also, that's another element of the movie. And then another element is Peter Sarsgaard and Penelope Cruz hunting them down. Penelope Cruz kind of going through this identity crisis in which she does a lot of the investigating and a lot of the mystery solving. Like, it's no credit for being a woman in a time where women are just considered housewives, accessories to men and their desires, which, is another interesting element that goes nowhere. Like, this movie just doesn't stick the landing. It's unfocused. It doesn't know what it wants to be. The performances are great, given that you have literally two Academy Award winners as your stars. But even they start to feel like theater kids, going through a badly written monologue. And yeah, Jessie Buckley goes through these moments where she's talking normally and she's having a normal conversation, and then hey, Mary Shelley will appear and she'll start to talk like this in this accent and start ranting about, getting told what to do and not wanting to do that. And it reminded me of if you've ever seen The Flash season 4, when Barry Allen comes back from the time portal, whatever, and he starts talking in rhymes like, these stars, they lead to Mars, and everywhere, everyone has scars, stuff like that. Like, it would have been super interesting to see where each one of those elements went if that's where we focused our 2-hour runtime. but this movie doesn't focus on anything. Maggie Gyllenhaal needed a rewrite, needed, in my opinion, an experienced writer to overlook the script and kind of help her find what she was looking for. But unfortunately, that's not what we have here. We have a Frankenstein of a mess of a movie, very fitting for the main topic. But yeah, no, I can't recommend it. I'd say if you want to see a movie on feminism and there's so many more that you can see directed by women, made for women by women. Uh, yeah, no, but this is not it. The director of The Substance, I forget her name, but she also directed Revenge. Two great movies about the problems women go through. Recommend checking those out. Also, two horror movies. But yeah, no, you can skip this. Don't catch it on streaming. Don't watch it at the theaters. It just kind of it'll come and go, which is super unfortunate because I was really looking forward to this one, but it happens. But yeah, that's it for this review. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.